Well, hello and welcome to Ask the Pastor. And I've been asked this question: is this the end of the world? Good question, and a lot of people have already been thinking, even before this pandemic struck, that we're near the end times, or in the end times. And so with this pandemic, boy, it feels like it could be the end, doesn't it? In fact, over half the clergy, I saw one article, over half the clergy of the United States believe that indeed we're in the end times and we're near the end. So what does this pastor think? Well, I want to point out a couple of things. One is to look at history. And if you look at history and the history of Christianity, you'll see that Christians many times have thought that they were near the end. Throughout all the centuries, there has been generation after generation after generation who've looked at the signs and said, well, this has got to be it. Christ's return must be close. And yet here we are hundreds of years later. So if we're thinking that this is the end times, well, we could be wrong, just as other generations have been wrong. So therefore, let's not quit our jobs and quit school, but rather let's be prepared for time to go on. So that's the first thing, is to look at history. But the second thing is to, well, let's ask Jesus. What does he have to say about it? And he does actually give us a definitive answer, but not really. Matthew chapter 24, verse 36 says this: "But about that day and hour no one knows, neither the angels of heaven nor the Son, but only the Father." In other words, no one will ever know whether we're in the end times or not. So, end of that video. Well, except that maybe you might want to know a bit more. Matthew chapter 4 is a very interesting passage of scripture. And all that Jesus teaches there, I encourage you to read the whole thing, but all that Jesus teaches there, some Bible scholars think that all of it refers to the end times, a time very distant from the time of Jesus' teaching. It refers to the end times. Other Bible scholars think that no, all of what Jesus was saying actually refers to an event that happened close to the time of Jesus, and that is the destruction of Jerusalem and the destruction of the temple. And so they'll put it very close, that all of this chapter 24 refers to a time close to the time of Jesus' teaching. And other Bible scholars will say, well, no, some of it refers to that time of Jesus' teaching and the destruction of Jerusalem shortly thereafter. But some of it refers actually to a future time, way future, to the end of the world. So which is it? Well, I think that third view has much to commend it. If you were to read through the entire chapter of 24, you'll see that there is this sense of there being signs and things to watch out for. And that when you see these signs and things to watch out for, there's something you can do, namely, run to the hills, flee to the mountains. As it says there in verse 16, "Then those who are in Judea must flee to the mountains." In other words, when you see the signs of Roman army coming, you have the time to get out. In fact, do that, get out. Don't stay in Jerusalem and try to protect it, just get out. So when you see these things happening, then get out. Now, some of the English translations miss it, but there is in the Greek a difference between these things and that day. So verse 36, "But about that day, no one knows when it will be." And in fact, no one will be able to get ready for it when it comes, because it will be that quickly. It will come that quickly. There'll be no signs of it coming. Jesus goes on to say that 2 will be in the field, 1 will be taken, and 1 will be left. It's that quickly. It's not like when these things happen, you have time to get out of Jerusalem. Rather, on that day when Christ returns, it's too late to prepare. You've got to be ready. So what is the answer to our question? Is this the end now that this pandemic has struck? Well, who knows? Jesus himself said, you won't know until it actually happens. So we want to take him at his word at that. We want to therefore be prepared for life to go on. So let's not quit our jobs or quit school. Let's be prepared for life to go on. But also, let's be ready to meet our Maker. I have to confess that I'm ready to meet my Maker, because I've already met my Maker. I have a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. His blood shed for the forgiveness of my sin and for yours. For the reconciliation of sinful humans like me to perfect God like God. And you see, I don't get myself ready. He gets me ready. It's by His grace, by His love, not by my abilities. So I'm ready to meet my Maker. Are you? So is this the end of the world? Who knows? The Lord only knows. And that's okay. But let's be prepared for life to go on. But let's be ready at any moment to meet our Maker. I hope you've already met Him. God bless you, and thank you for watching this far into the video. And if you have done so, maybe you have a question and you'd like to send me that along. That'd be great. I may not have the answers, but I'd love to wrestle through the question with you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.